On this video, I'll share the accident or near-miss avoidance steps and techniques that I went through a few days ago. The amazing part is the fact that I processed all of them within 3 seconds. Being well prepared was clearly the difference between riding away or crashing. So without further ado, let's give her. Hello YouTube land, welcome to the channel. This is Windy Therapy. This is my channel where I share anything and everything about motorcycles, camping and outdoor adventures. So if you're new here, welcome. But before I get going, check out my new t-shirt design. Let me know what you guys think. So let me turn around. This is the back. A YouTube logo on the side, and of course the front one. What do you guys think? I think it looks pretty cool. Wildlife and motorcycles coexist and will always coexist, and knowing how to react when that happens is critical for any rider's safety or well-being. As you can tell by the thumbnail, a deer, aka Widowmaker, was standing right in the middle of the road as I was riding home from an outstanding camping weekend in the interior of British Columbia here in Canada. I don't want this to come across as being very dramatic. However, in a matter of seconds, my life could have changed forever. Since this near miss happened, several people asked me the following 2 questions. 1, were you surprised? And 2, were you scared? Was I surprised? I would say I wasn't surprised because wildlife is part of our landscape. So it's a normal thing to happen regardless if you're riding a motorcycle, driving a car, or even a tractor trailer. Did I get scared? I would say no, because my road safety and road strategy skills allowed me to be properly prepared. To be honest, I was actually pretty calm about it. Having said that, the questions that nobody asked me were, number 1, what did you do when you first noticed the deer is standing in the middle of the road? And 2, how or why did you walk away unharmed? Well, those are the 2 questions that I'm planning to cover on this particular video. I'll start by saying that the day you stop learning is the day you're gonna start dying. As most of you guys know, I've been riding motorcycles since freaking Moses was a boy. However, it doesn't mean I should stop trying to improve my riding skills. Despite the fact that I hate to admit, as we age, our reflexes tend to get slow or slower. So we need to compensate with sharper skills, road experience, and an overall riding knowledge, I would say. It may sound a bit silly, but to this day, I still find myself practicing slow speed maneuvers, emergency braking, and obstacle avoidance. Having said that, those are the same skills that pay dividends, along with lane positioning, technology, and preventive maintenance. So let's quickly break it down, the main one, shall we? Number 1, emergency braking drills. Knowing how you and your bike will behave under an emergency is key. If you panic and squeeze the front brake too fast, or if you step on the brake like if you're trying to kill a spider on the ground, a nasty outcome may happen, mainly if your motorcycle doesn't have ABS. Motorcycles in general don't like abrupt movements or actions. There are several videos out there like MC Rider or 4 of 9 explaining the technical details of emergency braking, but I just want to say that you should apply the front brake slowly to give the front tire a chance to increase its surface area by becoming flatter and flatter as the inertia moves the weight forward with the front of the bike. Always thinking like squeeze. This is the speed, squeeze. So let me try to demonstrate using this tennis ball. As you apply the load slowly, you can see the surface between the ball and the table increasing. This is the same that's going to happen between the tire of the motorcycle and the pavement if you apply the load slowly. Having said that, if you do it quickly, guess what? You can skid just like so. Number 2, obstacle avoidance. This is the art of deciding what to do when you come across an unexpected, movable or movable object. Something that I was taught during one of my motorcycle riding courses was if you're riding at high speeds and can't stop safely, can't stop is the key word, you have basically 2 options, going over it or around it. The rule of thumb is pretty basic. If the object is the size of a shoebox or smaller, you go over it. If it's bigger than a shoebox, you should try to go around it. Yes, I know it's easier said than done, but this is mainly a mental exercise that you need to have embedded in your brain, because there are cases where braking safely to avoid a collision won't be an option. For example, if you have less than 2 seconds to react, or if you have high-speed vehicles right behind you, then stopping safely won't be an option for you to consider. 3. Lane positioning. As you can tell by watching the video, the deer was standing right at the middle of the road. Mind you, that was a very narrow 2-lane highway, but I was able to see it with a reasonable notice as I was riding on the left side of my lane, hence allowing me to see a little bit further. Number 4, road awareness. As a rule of thumb, we should keep looking ahead and keep scanning left to right, but equally important is to keep checking the rear view mirrors. Several years ago during a riding course, as I was stopping at a red light, my instructor said, "Without looking back, can you please tell me which car is right behind you?" And he even said including the color and model, and I went, I don't know. And I didn't know, to be honest. His answer was very simple but profound. He just said, "You must know." In this particular incident that I went through, just before the deer got ahead of me, 30 seconds prior, I did check my mirrors and I knew there was no one within close distance. We must always know who and what is behind this. Always, always. Another thing that is not as easy, and to be honest, it took me several years to master, is to look farther ahead. Instead, just few meters ahead of the front tire, or simply the car ahead of you. The farther we look, more time we're going to have to react to potential hazards. If I was looking down, searching for potholes, gravel, or dandelions, I would have been toast. This is another action that paid dividends. 5. Technology. Oh, the beauty of technology. My 2017 Triumph Trophy SE has full ABS, large disc brakes, dual in the front, a single in the back, which I'm sure it played a huge role doing this emergency braking routine. Needless to say, that makes me appreciate paying more for technological advancements, mainly those that are connected to my own safety. 6. preventive maintenance. Several folks spend more time washing their bikes, making sure the chrome is nice and shiny, than actually making sure the bike is road ready. Properly maintaining the motorcycle is important as remembering your wedding anniversary, because it's gonna keep you freaking alive. Preventive maintenance such as oil changes, air filters, coolant, that can be important, but there's nothing more important for me than the overall braking system. I mean, the brake pads, brake fluid, and tires. Remember, there are two things that keep us from experiencing the unexpected spot treatment of getting our butts nicely exfoliated onto a hot asphalt: the front and the rear tire. Thankfully for me, I just got a set of new tires, because having a good or a worn out tire can be the difference between stopping before hitting something or not. Okay, now let me wrap up all those 6 points together and explain the entire thought process that I went through in only 3 seconds. Number one, as soon as I saw the deer, I felt the muscle memory from my drills and practices starting to kick in. Next, first I started squeezing the front brake slowly but surely, knowing and being very confident there was no one behind me. Next, obstacle avoidance kicked in. The deer wasn't moving, wasn't running. In matter of fact, she was standing right in the middle of my lane, just chilling. So I have no data or research to validate my decision, but if I couldn't stop in time, I was already planning to go through the right-hand side, meaning behind the deer. In general terms, animals, when facing a panic situation, they tend to bolt forward instead turning around and going backwards. 4, then I start gearing my motorcycle down to be ready to quickly accelerate in case another vehicle was coming faster than I expected. I could have fully stopped before hitting her. Thankfully, she bolted as I was expecting, so then I was ready to start accelerating and regain my original speed. It is amazing how many actions our brain can process within few seconds. However, it is our responsibility to have the muscle memory or skills to provide the correct answers when the brain needs it. Does this approach eliminate all the wildlife incidents? No, it doesn't. Sadly, there are also cases where the rider or driver has no time to react when a deer or a dog runs across the road right in front of the vehicle. However, the probability or likelihood of that happening is statistically very, very low, but it still happens. The takeaway from this video is simply to remind us that we shall take responsibility for our own actions and do whatever we can to mitigate factors that are totally under our control. If I was distracted, panicked, and didn't have practice emergency braking, obstacle avoidance, and had bald tires, for example, I wouldn't be here to tell the story. Remember, improving your riding skills is your responsibility. So now it's your turn, guys. Does this make sense? Did I get lucky? What do you think? Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comment area down below. And this is it. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. Share with someone that may benefit from it. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done already. And that's it. As always, be good, be safe, and let's keep the rubber side down. Ciao.